There's been a lot of negativity out there in the wrestling world recently, from negative news to toxicity in social media. I want to brighten things up. I want to have a positive Q&A episode here on the Squared Circle Psychobabble. My name is Michael Valenti. Joining me is Ralph Valenti. All these questions that came in this week, I try to get any that were not bashing WWE or bashing AEW. Try to keep it light. So we'll start off with the first question here that comes from Patrick Holefield. How many AEW belts could you see going to New Japan or vice versa at Forbidden Door?
Which ones are being defended? So we have
we have the interim AEW championship, Moxley and Tanahashi. We have the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship that's going to be against someone in AEW, not sure who yet. Orange Cassidy and Ospreay for the US title. We're going to have, I think, I don't know the full card yet and what's going to be announced, but I think the Ring of Honor and IWGP tag titles are in a unification match, or one-on-one there with Roppongi Vice, FTR, and United Empire. We have the AEW Women's Championship, which is not involving New Japan, so that one's staying. I think that's it right now. Unless there's other matches that are announced, I don't see any other titles being on the card. But how many change hands? I think, if any, it's going to be the IWGP tag titles going to FTR.
Yeah, that'd be a likely one. I think that Tanahashi, while that match will be good and highly contested, I don't see them putting that title on him. So it would definitely be a lower ranked or lower tiered title. Certainly not like a more prominent title, I guess you could say.
Right. And I think part of that is just simply because Tanahashi is eventually going to leave to do the G1 Climax. So if Tanahashi wins and beats Moxley, you're essentially going to have the Roman Reigns situation with the interim AEW World Championship. And I don't think you want to do that. So you could have just kept the title on Punk, let him rest, and then come back. So I think Moxley definitely wins that one. And I don't see Jay White dropping to whoever at from AEW.
No, I don't see that.
Right. Next question comes from Finbar O'Bodair. I think I pronounced that right. If not, I apologize. Do you think Jungle Boy would be good as Hollywood Jack with sunglasses, acting all arrogant and cocky?
I have seen nothing from Jungle Boy that leads me to believe he would be successful as an arrogant, brash, over the top. I mean, he just doesn't have that type of charisma, or at least hasn't shown it or discovered it yet. So I think it could be fun. Max Dupree is probably doing that similar thing right now, maybe similar to that in WWE.
You're saying it wrong. Well. It's Max Dupree. Max Dupree.
You can do that. I'm not. So
Max Dupree. Anyway, I don't know if he needs to be a cocky, arrogant Hollywood star, but I do think kind of giving him like the shades and maybe a leather jacket. I don't know if you have to necessarily cut his hair, but I think something that you need to do, you need to get him out of the loincloth and make him more jungle man, I guess. Make him more of a man than a boy. I don't know how you do that. That's a step in the right direction, but I don't know if the Hollywood Jack would be the right move there. But maybe you tie it into Luke Perry and see what character, maybe do the character he had, in the 90s. But that might be the better way to go. Next one comes from Streborama. What are your picks for best in-ring performer and best promo all time and currently in wrestling?
All time in-ring performer, probably either HBK or Kurt Angle off the top of my head. Currently, I'll go this past year. I already said I think Dax Harwood or Seth Rollins or probably even Cody have been best. If you want to say WWE, promo, MJF cut the best promo this year. Cody's a good promo. All-time promo. There's a lot of people. Austin, Rock, Jericho. Any of them have had
Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, that was.
No, I agree with you on in-ring performer all time. Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle are my 1 and 2. I also put Savage in the conversation. Ric Flair's in that conversation. Bret Hart's in that conversation. I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't put Bret Hart because you're a Bret guy. I'm a Shawn guy, but nonetheless, I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. Promo, Roddy Piper is an all-time great. Dusty Rhodes is an all-time great. Ric Flair is an all-time great.
Cena doesn't get enough credit.
Cena's an all-time great. The Rock, Austin, Punk are all great promos. As far as today, MJF, I agree with you on for best promo. Jay White is unbelievable as well. Just doesn't get enough credit because not enough people here in the States watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. I would say also Cody. I agree with you on that. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. The tribal chief character is, resurrected his career and at least got most of the fans on him. I still think there's people out there that will not like Roman no matter what. So I think, Paul Heyman too. Gotta put him in.
Triple H.
Yep. Triple H is a good one too. There's a lot, it's hard to pick just one. And I'm sure that, you guys in the comment section are going to really give us a good conversation regardless. Best wrestlers today, I'm going with, and I said this in my Dominion review, is Ichiko Okada or Walter / Gunther.
Yeah.
Those are the two right now. You could say Seth, you could say Punk, you could say Cody, you could say Roman, you could say whoever. But to me, it's Walter or Okada. They just don't have bad matches. Even their worst match is like 4.5 stars. They just don't have bad matches. And even like Walter right now is having squash matches, but even then he looks like $1 million.
His match with Ricochet was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he just works with people of all sizes, shapes, talent, styles. He's just awesome. Can't go wrong with that. Next question comes from Luis Costa. Who dethrones Jade Cargill? I feel like we've gotten this one before, but I feel like it also can change because they haven't really built up anyone in the women's division to do so. But I wouldn't be surprised if they pull the trigger on Chris Statlander doing it.
Right now, it's either going to be, if they did it for recency, it would probably be Statlander or Athena.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
maybe
Toni
Britt
Storm's
Baker?
in the title picture.
Yes, she's in the AEW World Title picture.
That's what I'm
maybe
saying. So that kind of takes her out of that for a little bit, I would imagine.
Right, and if she beats Thunder Rosa, does that revisit Britt Baker because they are 1-1 on each other, and then you have the payoff with that, and maybe Britt wins the title back. That's also a possibility there. But here's a great question. I saved this one for last, Ralph. Why has nobody ever handcuffed themselves to the bottom rope during a battle royal or a Royal Rumble? This comes from Jay.
I don't know. I've never actually heard somebody point that out, but it seems like a logical thing to do.
It makes a lot of sense. I know we've seen people go under the bottom rope and hide under the ring like Jerry the King Lawler did. Was that the 95 Rumble he did that in?
Vince McMahon did it as well, no?
Well, Vince McMahon, he got out of there and, got Austin to the men's bathroom or women's bathroom and had him beat up there. So, and I think The Miz has done it before. There's plenty of people that have hidden under the ring. I think even MJF has hidden.
Santino Marella kind of did something like that.
He got knocked out and then came in last minute. Same thing with Rusev when Roman won the Royal Rumble in 2015. But never handcuffing themselves to the bottom rope. The only thing I could think of as why you wouldn't want to do that is 2 reasons. One, if you handcuff yourself to the bottom rope, you're leaving yourself defenseless, and everybody who's in the ring could just beat the crap out of you so that when the handcuffs finally come off, you're an easy way to just lift up and throw out.
Good point.
The other thing too is eventually you're going to have to take off the handcuffs because you can't win a battle royal unless you eliminate the last person, unless they just magically jump off the top rope, over the top rope, and eliminate themselves. That's the only way. That would be the only thing.
Because I've never seen it. Obviously, I've never seen that. I'm trying to think the most outlandish thing I've seen in a Battle Royal or Royal Rumble.
Outside of Kofi's, saves in unique ways of getting saved out of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I guess to a certain extent. Always was a fan of, I don't know which bushwhacker it was. He came out marching, he got thrown out of the ring, and he just marched right back.
Luke. That was Bushwhacker Luke. For the longest time, the shortest elimination, or the fastest elimination. Then you have the Warlord, that was 2 seconds. And then Santino Morello got eliminated in a second because he wasn't ready. But yeah, I'm sure that's eventually going to happen. Because if they got to do something different, someone's eventually going to handcuff themselves. Maybe they take themselves out of the ring and then handcuff themselves so they're not getting beaten up by people. But even the people getting eliminated could just give them a free kick before they walk back.
This is true.
So it's a very interesting answer. And I'd love to see, what answers you have for that question, as well as your comments and all the other questions that we answered here. Give us some fun questions for us to answer for the next Ask SCPB by using the hashtag AskSCPB here in the comments or all over social media at SCPB Podcast. We'll see you on the next episode of the Squared Circle Psycho Babble.